ChatGPT a lot. Have you tried it? Are you excited about it? How do you imagine this changing our lives?
Yeah, the leadership at Microsoft, Satya Nadella and OpenAI have engaged me in looking at, okay, how do we take advantage of this? Through my foundation work, looking at, okay, how do health systems use this, and how do education systems use this for things like a personal tutor. So I'm actually quite enthused. Yes, I'm getting to see the latest versions. And
what do you think of it? Have you?
It's amazing. Yeah. I mean, it sometimes will surprise you that it doesn't get it right, but a lot of times in its fluency of writing, AIs up until now, they could do a lot of great stuff. They could recognize photos and speech, but they couldn't read and they couldn't write. And so that's what this GPT-3, GPT-4, now computers in a surprisingly good way, most of the time, are able to read and write. And many people didn't think that would happen. In the fall when I was playing around with it, I was saying, wow, this is a very, very valuable tool.
Are you worried, though, that there could be ethical dimensions to it which are worrisome? I mean, universities, for example, are suddenly rethinking this whole idea of having theses and dissertations for students because they could just ask ChatGPT to fill it up for them.
Well, it's the same dilemma we had when calculators came along.
Right.
Should we teach people to multiply? And if we give them arithmetic homework, are they sitting there just using their calculator? And so we'll have to adjust. I'd say there is definitely some good news here because most people who write an essay, your teacher doesn't have that much time to comment on areas where it could be better. One of the things that the AI is good at is taking a paper and giving you a lot of suggestions. And I do think it's still important for people to learn how to write themselves, just like I feel about mathematics.
It's been 3 years. It's your first trip here to India since the pandemic broke out. What have been the biggest learnings, according to you, in the way the world dealt with this once-in-a-lifetime event?
Well, I and others spoke out about this risk in advance, and sadly the world in general didn't do much to get ready. And so, it did go global. We had over 20 million deaths. We're still going to be making up for the deaths and educational loss for a long time to come. So the only good news is that we will take the lessons and be better prepared.
What are those lessons?
Well, there are things that India is actually an exemplar on. It scaled up diagnostics very quickly. It scaled up vaccine production. Our foundation has a close relationship with the vaccine manufacturers, so we were able to help them move at very high speed along with the Indian government. And so we're going to have more standby capacity in the future for diagnostics, for therapeutics, and for vaccines so that we can get that coverage a lot faster. Also the surveillance, being able to see early what's going on, that wasn't very strong. And so this idea, can you look in the sewage? Well, that was done during COVID, and it turns out you could see a lot of things there. So what we call environmental surveillance, that'll be part of the investment in doing better next time.
And with that, it's a wrap on the show.